It's been over 2 weeks since I spent a ton of money on AirTags and accessories, and in this review, I will be sharing my honest thoughts and new findings about AirTags and in what ways they work better than I expected, along with the 3 main issues that I have with them, and also, depending on your use case, who would be better served by buying Tile. And yes, some of you should. I'll be skipping talking about specs since you guys already know that, as well as accessories since Angelica did a great job on her video on the best AirTag accessories and which third-party ones you should buy and which ones to avoid, so you guys can check out the video after this one. With that, if you enjoy our videos, consider subscribing to help us reach our goal of 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. We would really appreciate it. Now, one of my favorite things about AirTags is just how simple they are to use and set up. Unlike competitors, you don't need to download apps or even register, and you don't have to wait for software updates or even hit a button. You just pull the tab and place it close to your phone and the connect screen just pops up. And a few seconds later, you just choose what you want to label it and you're done. My parents or even my grandmother could set these up and use them without any issues, so they would make absolutely great gifts for people that have iPhones. In fact, I've already gifted a set. Now that leads me to the other biggest advantage of AirTags, which is the network, and I want to address a major misconception. The Find My app is installed on all iPhones and it runs automatically when needed while being secure and not using much data. And to use AirTags, you do need to have iOS 14.5 or newer installed, but a lot of people think that only those with iOS 14.5 can help find other AirTags. The truth is that anybody with an iPhone running iOS 14 or even 13 can help find your lost AirTag, and what is shocking is that 98% of active iPhones have these versions installed, so practically everyone can help track your AirTag, and that doesn't even include Macs and iPads. The other misconception is the sound that an AirTag will make if it is disconnected from your iPhone and there is no iPhone nearby. Some people were worried that their gear would start making sounds after a while if, for example, they left on vacation, but no worries. Thanks to the accelerometer, if your item isn't moved while you're disconnected, it will not randomly start going off, but I'll touch on this more in just a bit. One thing that I've discovered in my testing is that when you put your AirTag into lost mode and you're out of range, it doesn't just constantly put out a signal to be found. Apple doesn't tell us how often it pings, but after a few tests in popular spots, my AirTags kept being found just after 15 minutes of being disconnected and being in that lost mode, and that does sound about right since that's exactly how often Tile sends out a signal. Now, I thought that it would be found right away if there's somebody with an iPhone nearby, but it wasn't, which was annoying at first, but now I know that it's a good thing because if it did ping all the time, the battery life would be nowhere near the 1 year of rated battery life, but possibly only just a few weeks if it just had to keep sending out that signal. Another thing that I didn't know before is that after setting up your AirTag, that network of Apple devices will ping off of it when it is away from you and it will update location of your item without you even having to put it into lost mode. The way Apple set it up, if you're ever away from your tag, it will update its location in the app without sending you notifications. So if you lose an item somewhere around people, there's a good chance that once you realize that you've actually lost it, you will have a location listed so you can go and find it right away. And now let's get into the first problem that I've experienced with the AirTag, which is actually making me wish for a better Pro version of the AirTag, and that is how accurate the location shows, and even more so, the range. In my testing, I had multiple times where the Find My app shows a location, but it is a fair bit off from where the tag actually is. Now, I'm not sure if that's because a moving car picked it up, and by the time their location was pulled and sent to Apple servers, they have moved already, but it definitely is frustrating. You guys may have seen me wandering around in my hands-on video looking for my tag, but that's basically what you have to do since the amazing guidance system doesn't work until you're realistically about 30 feet away, depending on if there are obstructions. And that leads me into the second issue with the AirTags, that is the range of AirTags, and it's definitely shorter than the Tile Pro or Samsung's Smart Tag. If you're in line of sight, those have about 50% more range, but indoors with obstructions, they can have up to double the range of the AirTag. And not only that, their speakers are also a lot louder than the AirTags that uses a special speaker that actually moves the side of the body, which is why it's quieter. But with that, I have to mention that the benefit is that the AirTag is waterproof, so if your keys or anything else gets dunked, it will still work, unlike the others. And with 2 out of the 3 issues covered, I have to praise how well that network works compared to its biggest competitor. In my first test at the mall where I placed them right at the entrance, my AirTag was found after 15 minutes, while Tile took 45 minutes to be found, and that is in a really busy, popular place. The second time, I placed both in a parking lot that isn't too busy, and the AirTag was found after 30 minutes, whereas the Tile took 2.5 hours. And then for my final test, I hid both of them next to a trail that isn't often used. My AirTag was found a little bit after 2 hours, but guess how long it took the Tile to be found? Go ahead and pause this video and comment down below, take a guess, because it was in fact found, but I want to hear your guys' guesses. All right, it took 32 hours to be found. No joke, and I was honestly thinking that it's not gonna get found at all. This is why there's no way that I'm using Tile or anything else. If I drop something when I'm hiking or somewhere that isn't very busy, or maybe I have something stolen, I actually have a very good chance of finding it with the AirTag, and that is what matters most. Now, if you don't need that awesome visual and haptic guidance to find your AirTag, and you'd prefer a much stronger connection and a louder speaker, and you live in a busy part of a big city, the Tile might work better for you. And probably the biggest reason to buy it would be paying for its subscription and getting those smart notifications if you left something behind, and also being able to share them with others, which is my third problem or issue with the AirTags. Apple knows when you've disconnected from an AirTag, and you could see your friends and family with the Find My app, so why not add those features that would make AirTags much more useful? And the last thing I want to mention is something that I'm still not quite sure how I should feel about, and that is the privacy features. Now, some people want more privacy protection from Apple, but at the same time, Tile has none of these, and anybody could slip a Tile into somebody's backpack or say a car and track them. But Apple did put in some smart features to help against this, which at the same time could potentially tell a thief that they are being tracked. I gave one of these to a friend and he kept it with him for 2 days, but for some reason he never got a pop-up on his iPhone 12 that is running iPhone 14.5, even though he went home and then he went to a couple other places that he often visits. Now, I know some people have gotten that pop-up after just a few hours, so it is just really weird how Apple is being very private about this. They gave us a little bit of info, but in reality, I guess the one thing that I would appreciate is for Apple to give us just a very clear explanation about how these privacy features work. And with that, I would love if Apple gave us some options with these. For example, I would absolutely love to change how often it pings from roughly every 15 minutes to say about 5. I would gladly, sacrifice some battery life and maybe have to change it out every 3 or 4 months to get faster and more accurate tracking. But of course, giving users more customization and control isn't really the Apple thing to do. But with that said, overall, I am really happy with the AirTags. The visual and haptic guidance is awesome when you're trying to find items at home or in the office, and if you lose something, the chance of you finding it is much greater than with other options. Because of this, even if you don't often lose your items, I would highly recommend buying a couple of these, because even though they aren't GPS trackers or an insurance policy, they are by far the cheapest option to track things that might be lost or stolen. And although the AirTags could be a lot better, say if the speaker was louder or if it had better range, and especially if it actually had a hole in it from the factory so you don't have to buy all those accessories, I think Apple still knocked it out of the park. This is a device that is not very expensive and it definitely does the job. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. I have links in the description and also to the video that Angelica made with the best third-party accessories so you guys can save some money. Click that circle above if you guys want to subscribe and help us reach our goal of 1 million subscribers. That would be awesome. And check out the 2 AirTag videos right over there. This has been Max and I'll see you in the next video.